Today, I'm going to be giving you a tour of the current place that I'm staying, Airbnb hunting in Bangkok, where to stay, how soon to start that process, and the things to basically look out for. Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here. Do hit the like and the subscribe button. It helps me feel that what I'm doing is helpful. Also, do always leave your comments. I'm very happy to hear what you guys think or any questions that you might have that I could help you out with. What you waiting for? This is my fit today. Actually, I'm gonna be stepping out after I video this. What do you guys think? Should I have the hat on or not? Let me show you how I look with a hat, and you can help me choose. So maybe we can choose. Oh, we're looking real Thai. Okay. Is it giving? So let's just get right into it. Current place that I'm staying, it's a bit in the outskirts of the city. It's a bit farther out from the city. I'm talking maybe a 1-hour train ride, and with the Bangkok traffic by car, depending on the hours that you're moving around, it's a bit farther out. But it's very suburban, and I love it's green, it's lush, and then it's a gated community. So basically it's somebody's home, right? And they rent out a particular room, but then you have access to maybe like the shared spaces, like the living room, the kitchen. I'm gonna show you all this. I'm gonna do a different video about the cost of living, the cost of housing, the different place I was before, and how all these costs accumulate. at the moment, if I have to move around a lot, I am stuck with bikes. It's not like the safest option, but then it's also like the most affordable one and then the most convenient one to move around places. So yeah, that's just like a tip to put in your mind when you decide where to stay, especially if you want to stay like for a longer period. So people who are visiting obviously for like a day or two or a week, they tend to rent around Sukhumvit or like, like the busiest area. It's a bit more pricey, but then it's like the most convenient when it comes to, moving around and stuff like that. So those are like the things to put in mind. The things that I love about this place, I've already said, it's very homely. It's very, very quiet. Have everything together here, like the gym, the pool, they have a mini golf course. Want to rent for like more than a month, for example, it's and you don't want to use Airbnb.com, which I think if you're renting short term is the safest option. But then we were trying to get me a space where we sort of like rent for 2 or 3 months, like just like a regular rental. But here are the disadvantages that we found for that. First of all, most people do not rent their spaces if you're not on a 1 year contract, right? So they require you to be on a 1 year contract, and then they require you to have 2 months deposit. So you have to deposit 2 months of rent, and then now you start your rental. So in this case, then you would be limited to booking.com or airbnb.com. If you were to go for that option, then you would get like a semi-furnished room depending on your budget, or a fully furnished room where you have to like buy little essentials. Then you would also be billed for things like electricity or power or water, depending on who you're renting with and what their requirements are. So you have a bit of choice to make there. And then you have to also think about the convenience of like hidden fees, the potential to lose your deposit, especially if you're not renting for a year. Obviously, if you're renting for a year, those kind of things do make sense. But if you're renting for like a month or two, then you might want to go to a place where all costs are sort of like integrated into the final figure, or at least that's what I was helped to think like. That is research that you want to start doing very early on in the process of your move, so that you're not doing anything last minute. The first time I was moving, the very first Airbnb, it's linked on my very first moving to Thailand video. We waited until the very last minute, and what that caused is that first, all the rooms that we had put on our wish list on Airbnb.com in our budget were already taken, and then actually, because it was the festive season, nothing else was left. So we ended up just booking the quickest we could find, which wasn't even cheap, but compared to this place, it had less amenities, but then it was also closer to the city. So as you can see, there's many factors to juggle. So there's also different sites like Rent Hub, where you can find like cheaper accommodation for like a daily rate. Obviously, like daily rate is more expensive than a monthly is more expensive than a yearly. You get the drift. But on Rent Hub, you're able to book a house or a hotel or an Airbnb on a monthly rate. However, you're advised to do it like very early. If you want to come visit in December, then you might want to start doing your process and booking in like November. Okay. Well, the other thing is that you need to have like Line, which is their kind of like WhatsApp here, to be able to communicate with most of the realtors. I do feel like sometimes they may have a bit of like skepticism when it comes to who is asking. They do have some houses that they say no, that is strictly for Thai people, which I completely respect. In fact, you know what? I really respect cultures that hold their own people in high regard, and they prioritize their people before any other foreigner who's coming. I think we could do that also as a people. I feel like as sometimes we are notorious for, which is gradually fading, and I'm very proud of that, but we do hold other societies and other people in high regard compared to our own people. Think about it, even when you're in your own household, like sometimes your parent, if there's a guest, for example, or even your sister, if there's a guest, for example, they tend to like treat you better. They're more kind, they're more loving towards you, which is like completely unusual. But when the guests are away, you're back to like being, you know, treated poorly. Anyway, so I do have a lot of respect for people who hold their own people in high regard, show them respect. It's like, yeah, they are more of a priority. I think we got that in reverse, which is like result of colonization, maybe, or mental colonization, I mean. But I think that I like learning that. Yeah, so they do have these rooms that are just specifically for Thai people, so you want to check that prior if you don't want to use airbnb.com, right? So you need to do your calculations very good. You also need to know the places that you want to visit, how far out they are via train, how far out they are via taxi. You have to factor in the transportation factor and so on. But the other thing I love about Thai houses, they do have the basics. I really love that. You're gonna get a washer, you're gonna get a equipped kitchen if the house claims to have a kitchen. Like the basic things, you're gonna have them, and you're gonna have them in like a really functional way. It's very hot in Thailand, or sort of like humid, so most houses do have aircon. And yeah, so you will find those little things, right? They are quite notorious for mosquitoes, so you'll find those kind of things set up. You need to know what your essentials are, like the things that you really need to have in a house to be comfortable, right? The more you go outside of town, like Chiang Mai and different provinces, I'm gonna do a video about some provinces that I have visited that we love, right? Yeah, the housing gets cheaper, but obviously, just like any other place, the farther out you go. Okay. Anyway, so that's it. Yapa is done, and oh my god, did I mention that Thailand has this like really efficient? I don't know if they're legit, but I hope they're legit, efficient ways to up your vitamins through like different drinks. This one is a collagen peptide drink that I got in a 7-Eleven. It is high in vitamin C and E. You know, I'm gonna take a shot of this.